To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Triple G, Ryoto Murata. Good fight. Triple G stops Ryoto Murata in round 9. The towel was thrown in. It was a very good fight. It was a very challenging fight for the 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin. Golovkin looked to me like he was 40 years old. He looked like a good, well-dressed 40-year-old fighter. He looked bulkier, actually. He looked like he picked on some muscle. You know, if you looked in his chest and his back, you know, he looked in his arms, he looked like he was more cut up. He looked like he definitely trained for the fight, but I mean, he's had all the time in the world because this fight's supposed to happen 5 months ago, right? So, I mean, and before that, he didn't really fight anyone for a good while. So, you know, Triple G had his challenges in this fight, though. He was getting caught to the body, and you can tell his body's a lot softer than it used to be. I think they wanted to target the body and then go upstairs. I remember in round 3, Murata caught him with a double jab, right hand to the body, and Triple G was so skeptical of that. He was so skeptical of that he got caught with that same punch, but upstairs. So Murata was able to switch it up, catch him with that double jab, follow with the right hand. I think it would have been better if he followed back up with the continued with the left hook. That would have been good, but nonetheless, Golovkin, you know, still has a good chin, still has a good stamina box. I mean, even though it was 9 rounds, you've seen him huffing and puffing a lot more, though, than he used to. You know, I seen him kind of challenged in the second Canelo fight. Deverenchenko definitely challenged him, and which opened up the gate to stopping Triple G, really, you know, to the body. But understand, going to Golovkin's body is hell on wheels, because he's going to fight you back because he knows what you're trying to do. Just like he knew what Deverenchenko was trying to do. So you have to worry about hooks, that straight punishing, bazooka-like jab that he's so good at, the chopping right, the overhand right, okay, the looping right. The looping right hits you on the temple part of your head. So that'll hurt you too. You know, that'll put you down too. And he was hitting him with everything in the kitchen sink. And it seemed like Golovkin, you know, it took more punches to stop Murata. You know, eventually he wore Murata down to the point where, okay, Murata's ready to go. So he still has the punching power, but it's not like, I don't feel it. It's not like it used to be. But nonetheless, Murata was game. He was in his home country. You know, of course, this fight was very, very early, right? Because it's on the other side of the world. And Golovkin did what he had to do. But what's the main counterpunch here? It's not the fight of Murata. It's what he would do with Canelo. What if this was Canelo in there? What type of fight would this be? It would be a good fight for about 6 rounds. And I predict that Canelo would have got to that body. Canelo would have been better at feints. He would have been better at the jab. He's been fighting this guy 2 fights, 24 rounds. He knows what Golovkin is capable of doing. Golovkin is Golovkin. Golovkin looked older. He looked tired. He looked worn out. He looked determined. But that's not going to cut it against someone like Canelo in his prime. You know, and if I'm Jonathan Banks, I wouldn't opt for Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, to fight Canelo Alvarez a 3rd time. I wouldn't want him to do it. I think he's had a good career. I think that Golovkin has pretty much spent his whole career fucking with Canelo Alvarez. I think he should have done other things. I think he should have fought Charlo. I think he should have fought David Benavidez. I think he should have did everything that Canelo didn't do. You know, and I think that would have more defined him based on what he's done versus what he's waiting to do with Canelo, because he's not going to beat Canelo at 40 years old. He turned 40 yesterday, and he looks every bit of 40. And if he goes in there and he fights and he takes on Canelo, and Canelo chooses that fight, which I hope he doesn't, he's going to get stopped. He's going to get stopped, or he's going to get beat up, or after that fight, he's going to retire, which I think Golovkin should retire now. I don't think he should go in there with Canelo. Anybody really but Canelo. I think he has a good chance of beating Charlo, maybe. Charlo's a big guy. Charlo's also a big puncher, and Charlo can fight. But Canelo, no. It's a different story. Canelo has experience with him. He has history with him. He knows what he can do. And I think Canelo Alvarez is a better fighter, adjusting the fighters that he's been in there with. Look at the first fight versus the second. He fought him totally different. He outboxed him. He used the ring in the first fight and got a draw, which a lot of people, including myself, thought Golovkin was able to overpower him. But in the second fight, he moved forward. He worked angles. He worked counters. Okay? He had a good fight, and he made Golovkin work. Right? He made him work. So, I don't think, and I think Canelo's going to be better the second fight, and I don't think Golovkin should fight him. Based on Murata, which is a guy with, 17 pro fights, right? 17 pro fights, and it's like, okay, well, what else do we have? What else do we have that Golovkin can stop Canelo? I don't see him knocking him out. He's hit Canelo with his best shots. I don't see him knocking him out. I don't see him knocking him out to the body, because Golovkin would be too worried about his own body. And I think that would be the thing. It's not the punches that he can take upstairs. It's the punches that he can't take downstairs. So as far as Golovkin goes, fighting Canelo Alvarez a third time, I think he should cut his losses, understand his wins, understand that the politics of boxing will always be there. Even if he fights Canelo to tooth and nail, you could put in the consideration that, yeah, he's 40 years old, but no. He won't be the cash cow. He was a good fighter when he was avoided a lot. He had shitty promotion starting out, but he will not fight, or should I say, he will not beat Canelo Alvarez the third time. I don't think so. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Gennady Golovkin stopping Ryoto Murata in round 9. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace!